This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 4:27 here on your Friday, November 15th. We want to thank you for starting your day early with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
I'm Rafael Sanchez, TGIF. A little cold out there, but we're going to make it, right?
We're going to make it. Hey, we got through the beginning of the week, so we're good.
After that record-breaking cold weather, hopefully Todd and Alyssa will have some good news coming up here in the next couple of minutes. We'll see what happens.
Yes. Well, we want to get to some of our top stories we're going to have for you today. It is a video that has gone viral. This involves a deputy constable in Marion County fired from his job.
Yeah. Aaron Blackwell says a man later identified as a deputy constable from Lawrence Township watched him and his cousin check out in the store, then followed the two of them to their car. This happened outside of the Nordstrom rack on 82nd Street on the north side of Indianapolis. The video shows the deputy constable demanding to see his driver's license and then threatening to tow his car and yelling at two men. A state police officer is going to weigh in on this situation and tell us exactly what should happen in situations like this. He thought it was a bad deal what happened to those two guys in that car.
So we're going to have more on that story. Right now, we do want to get to our forecast. Our Alyssa Donovan is here in studio with us today, and it is Friday, so we want to know what we can expect today, Alyssa. And of course, looking ahead to the weekend, I want to put my Christmas lights up outside before it gets too cold. So let me know if that's okay.
You know what? I think that's going to be good this weekend.
Okay.
I think you're a little early.
You got to do it before it gets really cold.
I said that about when you were putting up that Christmas tree too.
I know,
so
that's in the works already. Yeah.
So we are going to see some nice conditions this weekend. Still going to be chilly though, and we're starting chilly again this morning. Not nearly as cold as we were earlier this week, and it is going to feel a little colder than it did yesterday morning, and that's just because we have those northwest winds that's helping usher in that cool, dry air from the north. Temperatures right now in the 20s across the area, but it feels a little bit more like the teens because of that wind moving in from the north. Temperatures today will climb into the upper 30s, so just about where we were yesterday with partly cloudy skies. We'll see more clearing for the afternoon, but that's still well below average. Keep in mind, usually we are in the low to mid 50s this time of year, so it feels very below average for this time of year. Temperatures over the weekend will be in the 40s, and we're going to start a little warming trend next week.
Alyssa, thank you so much. Another big story this morning, a serious health issue in our state. Another person has died in connection to vaping.
This is the fourth vaping-related death. The health department confirms the person was an adult between the ages of 50 and 59.
There have been 3 other vaping-related deaths in Indiana. Those victims were also adults in our state. So far in Indiana, there have been some 57 probable cases involving vaping-related illnesses, 55 confirmed cases.
And we are learning that they're working to figure out what is the ingredient that is triggering these, so that is still ongoing. We can tell you we are just 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. I can't believe it. So if you're preparing to fly out, maybe to visit family or go on a trip, TSA says that air travel is going to be higher than expected. We'll have those numbers coming up.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good morning on this Friday. Straight ahead at 4:30, a deputy constable fired after a viral video. Hear from the man who recorded the clip. That man, plus a retired state police trooper, says what happened in that interaction was not the right thing.
And today, the Decatur Township community will say goodbye to a local hero. We've got details on services for Lieutenant Tracy Hayden and how you can help honor his memory.
And if you have children who need a winter coat, a community organization, they want to help where kids can get what they need to stay warm for free this weekend. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Friday. I'm Rafael Sanchez. Meredith Barrick is hopefully somewhere nice and warm on this Friday morning.
Yes, we're all jealous of her. I'm Lauren Casey, and we have Alyssa Donovan with us here today to talk about our forecast. And the good news back here at home, I mean, it's not as cold as we had early in the week, but it's still pretty chilly out there.
Still chilly, still below average. Those temperatures are recovering slowly as we head through the next couple days, but we are starting cold again this morning. We're not in the single digits. That's the good news. I know we were earlier this week. We broke some records. We're recovering a little bit with those temperatures. Right now, 29 degrees in Indianapolis, 30 degrees in Muncie. It actually feels a little colder than that and a little colder than we did yesterday. Temperatures are going to be affected this morning by that wind chill, making it feel more like 19 degrees right now in Indianapolis, 18 degrees in Peru, 23 degrees in Muncie. And we do have that wind coming out of the northwest. That's helping bring in some cooler, drier air from the north. We also are starting with some cloud coverage this morning. A lot of that is going to clear out, though, as we head through the day. So we're going to start with partly cloudy skies, and then we'll see mostly sunny skies by this afternoon. That's all from a disturbance that moved through overnight, only bringing us that cloud coverage. We're going to have a quiet weekend ahead as well. Just very small chance of maybe a rain shower by Sunday night, but for the most part, we're just going to see a little bit of a warming trend through the weekend and through next week. Temperatures starting in the 20s and low 30s this morning, climbing into the upper 30s this afternoon.
Alyssa, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out to kick off your Friday. Here's a live look at I-70 and the Sam Jones Expressway. Looks like traffic is moving along smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. No crashes over here on the west side to slow down your commute. So let's take a trip across town. This is I-69 and 82nd Street, the Castleton area. You can see traffic there is moving along just fine. No major issues here or around the metro area to slow you down.
At 4:32, we begin with an update from Hamilton County. The man accused of killing a police dog during a chase made his first court appearance. Richard Garrett Jr.'s bond has been set at $150,000. That was set on Thursday. He's facing 14 counts, including 8 low-level felonies. Police say he led them on a high-speed chase on I-69 early Wednesday morning. Officers say he then got out of the car and ran during the foot chase. Police say that Garrett shot Fisher's canine officer Haley, killing him. That crime carries a possible 2-year prison sentence. The passenger in Garrett's car, Rashana Farrow, is also facing charges. A jury trial has been set for February the 6th. A Lawrence Township official is out of a job after confronting 2 men, apparently for no reason. But those men say that punishment is not enough.
Yeah, this happened outside of the Nordstrom Rack store off 82nd Street. Aaron Blackwell says that a man later identified as Deputy Constable watched him and his cousin check out in that store and then followed the 2 of them to their car. The video shows the Deputy Constable demanding to see his driver's license, threatening to tow his car, and yelling at the 2 men.
Are you really an officer of the law?
Yep.
We don't have any proof that you are.
Well, that's
because you have a shirt that
Get
says
your driver's license out.
What is your proof that you're even legal to pull?
Shut up.
What is
Why
your
don't
proof?
you shut up? I'm not talking to you.
Does it make you feel any better to
No, it doesn't. That he got fired? Nobody from Lawrence called me, apologized, or anything. Nobody. So until you do that, it ain't heartfelt to me, and it ain't real. It's just some guy losing his job.
A few minutes later, an IMPD officer responded, talked to the men, and told them that they were free to go. We showed this video that you just saw there to James White. He is a retired Indiana State Police lieutenant and former deputy director of Indiana Law Enforcement Academy.
And he says the constable in this case, he says, did everything wrong.
I think you could use this video as a training tool for recruit officers and in-service officers on how not to make an enforcement stop. First things first, there was absolutely no reasonable suspicion or probable cause for the constable to stop those 2 individuals. And number 2, he got into a verbal altercation. He let the situation get out of hand. The conduct of the constable was just unconscionable.
White also says you are not required to show your ID if a law enforcement officer has no reasonable suspicion or probable cause.
Time now is 4:35. An Uber driver down in Johnson County is accused of being under the influence while driving a paying customer. 56-year-old Mark Allen Atchison is charged with possession of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia and driving a vehicle while intoxicated. He was pulled over for speeding on Sunday by a New Whiteland police officer. According to court documents, Atchison admitted to smoking meth and marijuana about 90 minutes before he was stopped. He is now facing multiple charges.
The Decatur Township community is preparing to say goodbye to one of its firefighters. Lieutenant Tracy Hayden will be laid to rest today. The 38-year-old died Saturday after losing a hard-fought battle with leukemia. The disease is believed to be the result of exposure to toxic chemicals when he investigated a chemical storage fire. Hayden's funeral will be held today at 11 at the Decatur Central High School. He'll be laid to rest at Crown Hill Cemetery. Hayden is survived by his wife and 2 young sons. In lieu of flowers, the family asks for donations to be made to Decatur Township Just Cause Foundation or Supporting Heroes, Inc.
A local group is working hard to make sure that kids on the east side are winter ready. Members of grassroots organization Creating a New Society are holding a coat drive this weekend. Their goal is to give away free coats to 500 Indianapolis children, a gesture they hope will protect those kids from the winter's brutal cold. Raphael Dorsey founded the organization and came up with the idea for a coat drive 5 years ago after seeing the problem firsthand. From there, the coat drive took off, and now the goal is to serve the community every year. A process that takes months of planning and is done with little to no money.
We don't receive any grants, any sponsorships, no big name companies are backing us or anything like that. That's just pretty much like what we go off of out of our own pocket. We're just small, grassroots organization, just trying to give back, trying to help.
The coat drive is this Saturday at the John Bonner Center near East 10th and Rural Street. The doors will open at 8 a.m. and will stay open while supplies last. The organization is still accepting coat donations as well. For more information on how you can help these folks out, just go to the RTV6 app and click on this story.
At 4:37, if you're thinking about giving a deserving pet a new home just in time for the holidays, Indianapolis Animal Care Services has the opportunity just for you. And here are some of those beautiful animals. They will be up for adoption during tonight's special late-night adopt-a-thon. IACS needs to free up kennel space. All adoptions will be free during the event, and the first 25 dogs and 10 cats adopted during the night adoption will go home with a special adoption kit. The adopt-a-thon is from 6 to 10 at IACS, which is located at 2600 South Harding, right here in Indianapolis.
Well, speaking of the holidays, the Salvation Army celebrated a big kickoff last night with music, and soon you'll hear the sound of bells. It's now red kettle season, and today you'll start seeing the angel trees at Central Indiana malls. A record 7,000 kids are signed up for the program this year.
What we do is we sign up these kids, we find out from the parents what their wants and their needs are, and then we print them out on these special little tags. And then the public, people like you and me, we can go out there and we can choose an angel and adopt them and go out and shop. Buy a bicycle or perhaps a pair of tennis shoes, or maybe they need something like diapers if they're really tiny.
For more information about the program, go to salvationarmyindiana.org/angeltree.
That choir sounded fantastic.
Yes.
You could also help make it a happy holidays for families in need by donating to our 6 Shines on Toy Drive. That kicks off today at the Christmas Nights of Lights display. That's at the State Fairgrounds. Part of the proceeds from the event will go to the toy drive. You could also bring a toy and get a discount on an Indy Field ticket, a good game, and a good cause. Great combination.
Yes, thank you for your donation. Well, there are some major new developments in the impeachment showdown. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi now using the word bribery. What that could mean as the House moves forward with the open hearing.
Plus, a California community in mourning following yet another deadly school shooting. ABC's Janae Norman will have the very latest details here on Good Morning Indiana. But first, let's check in with Alyssa. Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning. We are starting chilly again this morning. Temperatures in the 20s. Feels a little bit more like the teens. Will warm into the upper 30s this afternoon. Still below average for this time of year, but we will see plenty of sunshine today. I'll have your weekend forecast coming up next.
This is working for you.
Time right now is 4:43. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Here is a live look right now at traffic over on the east side. Traffic is moving along up to speed, as you can see here on I-70 and I-465, the interchange there. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads and look out for any crashes or delays and keep you updated.
Another open hearing is set for today in the impeachment inquiry, this time with the ousted ambassador to Ukraine. Maria Yovanovitch's testimony could shed new light on the apparent smear campaign against her, allegedly orchestrated by President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. And behind closed doors, a witness is expected to share his account of a previously undisclosed call between Mr. Trump and Ambassador Gordon Sondland. That hearing could corroborate Wednesday's testimony, alleging that Mr. Trump cared more about investigating the Bidens than helping Ukraine. Meanwhile, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is pointing to a possible bribery charge against the president, which is a major step because bribery is in the Constitution as an impeachable offense.
At 4:44 this morning, there are new details on that deadly school shooting out in California. Police say this all unfolded in just 16 seconds. The shooter wounding several classmates, killing 2 of them. And now we're learning about the off-duty first responders who were able to rush quickly to the scene because they were already on campus. ABC's Janae Norman has the latest.
Overnight, dozens of people gathering to remember the victims of America's latest school shooting. Police in Santa Clarita say Thursday morning a high school student killed 2 classmates who were among a group gathering near the school's entrance before classes began. They say it was the shooter's 16th birthday. According to investigators, it took only 16 seconds for the teen to pull a gun out of his backpack, shoot several students, and then turn the gun on himself. Students and teachers inside rushing to place these chairs against the doors for security, just as they've practiced in lockdown drills so many times.
It was just normal Thursday. We woke up in the morning, got ready. Our biggest problem was, about the dance on Saturday and, whether you forgot to do your homework or not. And then all of a sudden, it's life or death.
Moments after the shots rang out, the first responders on the scene were 3 off-duty law enforcement personnel. They had just dropped off their own children at the school. One arrived at the shooting scene in mere seconds.
He had just dropped off a family member at the school and was driving away from the school along the perimeter when he saw all the children running away from the sound of the gunfire, and he turned around and became the very first person on scene.
Anguished parents rushing to the school, some saying they had prepared for a day like this, even setting up an emergency meeting place. The 2 victims killed include a 16-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy. 3 other students were wounded. The gunman overnight listed in grave condition. Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
The effort to pass a gun background check bill was also blocked yesterday, the same day as that school shooting in California. We're talking about H.R. 8 was passed by the House back in February. It would require background checks on all firearm sales in the country. As it stands now, only licensed gun dealers must perform background checks. That leaves gun sales between individuals largely unregulated. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, he requested that H.R. 8 be passed by unanimous consent, saying, quote, "We cannot go 24 hours without news of another mass shooting somewhere in America." But that motion was blocked by Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith of Mississippi. She argued that the bill should not be exempt from consideration by the appropriate committee.
At 4:47 in Texas, the site of a mass shooting that left 22 people dead and 26 others injured is back open for business. An El Paso Strong banner now hangs outside of the Walmart after it reopened on Thursday. The store also features new security measures, including cameras and gates at the entrances. Police say the suspected gunman, 21-year-old Patrick Cruzius, targeted Mexicans when he opened fire in that store on August 3rd. The FBI is investigating this shooting as domestic terrorism. Prosecutors say they intend on seeking the death penalty.
It is early, but I want you to come by your TV and take a look at this. You see that there? Rescuers in Missouri were able to pull a woman to safety after her car was left dangling on the edge of that roadway. Wow. The woman crashed on snowy roads in southeast Kansas City. Crews used a cable on a tow truck to steady that vehicle. Firefighters then smashed the windshield to reach the woman and pull her out to safety. The woman made it out okay with only minor injuries. We are thankful always for first responders. That woman, again, is A-okay. And this morning, we are thankful for temperatures in the double digits, Alyssa Donovan, because after a record-breaking week,
yeah.
Whatever you got is going to feel fantastic. Whatever it is, I'm going to be surprised. You go ahead.
I know. So we have warmed up a little bit over the past couple mornings. Yesterday we were in the 20s. Today we are in the 20s. However, today feels a little bit colder than it did yesterday morning, and that's just because our winds have shifted. Yesterday morning they were coming out of the south. That was helping usher in some of that warmer air. Today they are coming out of the north. That is helping usher in that colder air. So we are starting chilly. We're staying well below average today and through the weekend. Today will be into the upper 30s. The weekend will be into the 40s, but that is still well below average. Usually we are in the 50s this time of year. The good news is it is going to be a dry weekend. We have a couple disturbances that will move through, but all those will do is bring us some cloud coverage. The good news is warming trend starts next week. We are going to be close to our average highs by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Right now, though, chilly start today. Indianapolis at 29 degrees, Kokomo at 24, and Bloomington at 23, and you can see we have those northwesterly winds about 12 miles per hour right now, so that's making it feel even colder than those 20s, feeling more like 19 degrees right now in Indianapolis, 18 degrees in Peru. So it's definitely going to be a morning that you want that warm jacket. Even though we're not in the single digits like we were earlier this week, it is still cold and below average with those temperatures. Starting with a little bit of cloud coverage this morning, that's all from a disturbance that's just to the north of us that passed through last night. Didn't bring us any moisture, just a little bit of cloud coverage. And the good news is those clouds are going to clear out very quickly today, and we are going to see plenty of sunshine. So we're starting with those clouds this morning. Likely before the sun even rises, those will clear out. And then by the time you're heading out the door, temperatures will be in the low 20s. So it is going to be a cool start to your day, but we are going to see that sunshine. By the noon hour, we'll climb into the mid 30s, and by the afternoon, upper 30s and low 40s to the south. So we're warming a little bit, but we're really going to warm as we head into next week. This weekend, just a small climb with those temperatures. 41 on Saturday, 44 on Sunday. Dry conditions. We'll see a system move through overnight that will bring us a little bit of cloud coverage for your Saturday. And then Sunday into Monday, we have another system that could bring us maybe a stray shower by Monday, but mostly it will just bring us more clouds. Looking ahead to next week, though, you can see those temperatures really climb. Wednesday and Thursday, close to 50 degrees, which is closer to where we should be this time of year. Usually our highs are right around 53 still, so we are well below average today and most of the weekend, but we are seeing dry conditions, not a chance of precipitation really until Thursday.
Alyssa, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out to start your Friday. Here's a look right now up on the north side, I-465 near Westfield Boulevard. Traffic here, as you can see down below, is traveling up to speed both eastbound and westbound. No issues here to slow you down, so let's travel down to the east side. Here's I-70 and Sherman Drive. You can see traffic is quiet traveling eastbound and westbound. Over here on the east side, of course, we'll keep a close eye on things and let you know if there are any delays.
From the roads to the air, if you're planning to fly somewhere for Thanksgiving, get ready for some long lines. TSA says that air travel is expected to reach an all-time high this year. From the Friday before Thanksgiving through Monday, December the 2nd, officials expect close to 27 million flyers will pass through TSA checkpoints at the nation's airports. The Sunday after Thanksgiving is expected to be the busiest day U.S. airlines have seen in a long time. More than 3 million passengers are expected to take to the skies on that day alone.
And speaking of Thanksgiving, Hardee's is testing a new menu item called Thanksgiving in a Box. It includes stuffing, breaded tenders, sweet potato waffle fries, toasted onion coated green beans, and chicken gravy. The fast food chain is pitching this as a tasty, stress-free alternative to traditional holiday favorites. Right now, the boxes are being tested in Jacksonville, Florida, and if they're successful, a nationwide rollout could follow.
I'll take two of those. Yeah. Good stuff. We're hungry already. It's finally here. The world's largest, I mean the biggest, the most humongous Starbucks opens today. We have a look inside this caffeine lover's utopia right next here on Good Morning Indiana.
It's a select new 2019 model.
Welcome back. Today's the day Starbucks will open its largest and most impressive store in Chicago. The 43,000 square foot Reserve Roastery will be located on the city's iconic Magnificent Mile. Each floor offers customers a different take on caffeine, from watching the roasting process on the first floor all the way up to specialty Chicago-inspired coffee cocktails on the fourth floor. And in a nod to Chicagoans, the roastery will feature original works by local artists.
That's
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to go to Chicago just to check it out. I'm not even a coffee drinker.
You have to see it. It's it looks so cool. You have to see what's on each level, right?
I know. I'm very curious.
I'm excited about it.
I know. We're going to have to check it out. Okay, so if you're heading out the door today, you may want to grab the coffee, though, just to warm up.
Yes, it's going to be a little chilly to start today. Temperatures still below average by this afternoon as well. Keep in mind, usually we're in the 50s this time of year. Today, only scraping close to 40 degrees for our afternoon highs, and we're starting in the 20s this morning. Feels a little more like the teens, though, because of those wind chills. So grab your warm coat, a warm cup of coffee as you head out the door. Weekend looking dry, temperatures in the 40s.